This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
RingCentral's AI receptionist uses voice AI to answer on the first ring, so you'll never miss a call again. In just a few minutes, you can personalize your own AI receptionist to answer questions, route calls, schedule appointments, and even send texts in multiple languages. Plus, it's easy to scale. Create unlimited AI receptionists across any phone system. It's all powered by one reliable platform for effortless AI communications. See for yourself at ringcentral.com. RingCentral, voice of your business.
Somebody come get 'em, they're too old for TikTok.
Hello and welcome to Too Old for TikTok, episode 252. Lots going on TikTok. It's the middle of April somehow. I do want to start off with a disclaimer. Something is in the air in New York City and it's very loud. There's jackhammering, there's sirens. So in case you hear that, I apologize. I'll do my best to edit it out. Other than that, everything is swell over here. How are you, Catalina?
I'm well. I had a very homeowner-oriented weekend, and now I am back at it, laboring again. I did very exciting things. I went to Costco.
That's so exciting. I love a Costco trip.
I went to IKEA.
Ooh, not as much. IKEA is stressful.
I went to Home Depot.
That's a lot of homeownering.
Wow. I know. I had a gift card to Home Depot. Normally I go to Lowe's.
Interesting. That ties in well to things I'm getting on my For You page because of my home renovations, which we will get to.
Yeah.
But before we get there, we need to start off by saying it's Coachella season.
Sure is.
And you know what? I'm not getting as many videos as I used to on my For You page when Coachella's in town. I think Coachella's just been around so long now, and I don't know, it's because we're older and the influence we follow are older and not going to Coachella, but I'm not getting as much content.
Oh, I'm getting a ton. And also, I like your use of Coachella in town because within the scope of the concert, Coachella is the town.
Yes.
It's like Coachella is where you go and Coachella happens. Coachella doesn't come to you. You go to Coachella, and that's actually a huge part of what we're seeing on TikTok.
Yes. I mean, Coachella's in the ether. It's happening.
Yeah.
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah, more precise.
Okay.
I've been seeing a ton of Coachella content, a lot of Justin Bieber.
I've been hearing a lot about Justin Bieber. I haven't watched his set yet. I want to watch it. I know there's a lot of controversy between him just playing YouTube videos and singing to his YouTube in the background. But I think that's like artistry at its finest because he got his start on YouTube. So it's like a nod back. But people are a little concerned, or there's a facet of people who are upset because he got paid $10 million to do that.
Wow. I have only seen positive things about it. I saw on Instagram, Lizzo posted something.
Yes.
That was about it, and I saw some clips and I saw people reacting and they were all really into it. I also saw some stuff about Sabrina Carpenter getting in trouble because there was this like chant that happened, and then she had a reaction, and then people were like mad about that. I read a whole Reddit post about that.
But she issued an apology.
That's good.
Yeah.
I've seen the artist Slater, which is, I guess she's a club musician. And then I realized I've heard a lot of her songs. This is always what's funny with Coachella is you look at the name and you're like, what? And then you listen to the music and you're like, oh, I know that already.
Yeah.
So no, I've seen a lot of that, but the majority of what I've seen has been about how, and it's been this way for a while, and I think that's maybe why we're less interested in it, is that Coachella is just a brand and influencer event at this point.
Absolutely. It's been for a while now, yeah.
And so there's a lot of drama related to the people who go, who they're sponsored by, who's hypocritical, who says no, and that's most of what we're getting. So we've gotten some pretty good videos about that.
Yes, I got videos by Bran_Flakes, who's a creator we love. We've talked about. He's super, super funny, and he's just really good at being a content creator, I think. He talks about his methods and so on and so forth. But he's at Coachella, and here's his take of Coachella this year.
Once again, no lines for food because everyone's on Ozempic.
And guys, we're at Revolve Fest.
The food here is free.
Lines everywhere else, but no lines for food.
Meanwhile, this is the line to make sunglasses. Like, you can't make this up. All the food lines are empty.
Yeah, we took all the food.
I think that's so funny.
It's so funny and so true.
True. Although, I don't think, okay, people could, it's crazy that there's no one in line. It's probably just because there's so little demand for food that the line moves so fast that the line never accumulates, because it's not like they're not eating at all. Yeah, unless they aren't. Who knows?
People on Ozempic still need to get nutrients.
Yeah, you still need to eat.
Yeah.
But I guess it's that the level to which you might expect people be eating is, the supply is outnumbering or outweighing the demand. Correct. In these free, and the emphasis is that he's in an area where it's all free
food, right? It's not the cost. This made me think of comparing this to a baseball game, which it's not free, but I wonder now if there is a slightly less demand just overall in stadiums everywhere. I guess it depends on the clientele. Like, for instance, a baseball game, how many of those people in the stadium are on Ozempic or on a GLP-1? It's very interesting.
But that's also why I saw a while back some article about how different restaurants and stuff are responding to this by offering more like GLP-1 friendly sizes of food. And so that is, for them at least, a smart way to innovate, because it's like, I know someone doesn't want like a huge thing of nachos, but for a slightly cheaper price that's still a markup, I'll give them a smaller amount of nachos that then they feel like they can handle.
I'm so sorry that you mentioned nachos, because now I want a disgustingly large thing of nachos in front of me now.
Speaking of which, your husband texted me last night asking me how to say the small, like, taquito, the word.
Taquito, yeah.
How do you say a small version of taquito? And I was like, it already is the diminutive. And then he was upset with my answer. And I would just like to know, why did he want to say small taquito?
Because we were eating taquitos.
And you wanted smaller ones?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
he said anything. No, this is a Spanish lesson. Anything that's ito at the end is small.
It's called the diminutive. So it's something that you add to a word to make it
small.
Catatita would be like, I was going to say
catatita, little Catalina. Yeah. We were chatting about that because of taquitos.
But it already is. Ito already is the diminutive. Okay. I hope that everyone's enjoyed this lesson and we can move on. Now, beyond bran flakes telling us that no one's eating, which, what a waste.
Free food, I know.
What a waste. But honest, I'm glad that they're not getting it and then wasting it, I guess.
Who knows?
Either way. But then we also have creators like Jade Molly who are chiming in on drama that's happening on a side of TikTok I'm not on, because I don't follow any of these people, about people who go on brand trips to Coachella that are directly in opposition, the brands, to the way they present themselves.
There's a big creator on this app right now who is taking major hits for being at Coachella with Starbucks. I'm not really here to say what's right or wrong surrounding all of this. It's your decision to follow somebody on this app and to give them your money. What I will say, and what I think we always need to remember, is that so many creators are doing the things they're doing for the views and the clicks. A full-time creator's job is to bring in views. And they will do that however they can, whatever way works best, whichever audience brings them those views. Am I surprised that someone went to Coachella with a brand partnership that goes totally against seemingly all of their core values and beliefs? Not at all.
And this creator's talking about brand flakes. I don't think this creator says that, but I had no idea brand flakes, the creator, was going sponsored by anyone. And personally, that's their job, so I get it. But if it is in direct opposition to their beliefs, I guess there's, a conflict of interest.
And that brings us to Benton McClintock, who, because I think that there is a limit. I am not an entirely good for you type person. I do understand that there is no ethical consumption in late stage capitalism, and thinking that people whose entire job revolves around marketing and branding are going to constantly be like aligning themselves with brands who fully represent their values. This is also the whole like values oriented marketing that we were talking about recently, which is another fallacy. I think Benton McClintock does a really good satirical version of this.
I'm going to be honest, I did not know if I was going to make it to Coachella this year. I was hearing nothing from brands. And then 2 weeks ago, I get an email from Lockheed Martin, like, yes, the Lockheed Martin, who's been arming and protecting our country since I was, before I was even born, invited me to Coachella, so let's look at the house. So I just got here and it's kind of interesting because it looks kind of like it's underground. You guys, Lockheed is literally in their bunker era. I'm so obsessed. Like, it really looks like a military bunker.
Perfect video. He's one of our top creators. We always highlight him.
Lockheed Martin is the origin of the phrase "good for him."
Good for him.
Because it was someone I knew who worked for Lockheed Martin.
And one of our friends said, "Good for him."
I mean, we know who said it. Good for him. All right, moving on. What's on your FYP, Dina?
My FYP is fabulous. I am loving what's going on TikTok with a creator named the Jacob Higgins, because this is TikTok at its finest. It is something joyful. It is something so silly. It's so niche, and just everyone in this community now is hopping on board the train. So this Jacob Higgins had a work conference in Westbury, New York, which is in Long Island. I grew up about 20-30 minutes away. He has done a whole series about the wine pours at the Marriott in Westbury, New York. This video is the last one in his series, and I will play a clip here.
It's my last night here at the Courtyard Marriott in Westbury, New York. Let me recap my final night for you. I get back to the hotel lobby around 8:30 p.m. We walk in. I take a sharp right turn and proceed to tell my team of 2 at this point, hey, have a great night. I'm going to get a glass of wine, per usual. What the fuck? Are we kidding? No. Hey, I arrive at the bar. Who do I see? It's bartender number 2. Bartender number 2, I find out the name. Her name is Marianne, I think. Fuck my life. Anyways, Marianne says, hey, I know you. I said, fuck my fucking life. No, I said it in my head. I said, what the fuck, in my head. Marianne says, hey. I said, hey, I would love another glass of Sauvignon Blanc. Marianne pours my glass. I cannot make the chug noise right now. Or maybe I can. Here I go. She pours my glass of wine, and it sounds something like this.
He's gained so many followers from this. So many other videos are parroting him or saying, like, people need to go to this Marriott. Like, the business that this Marriott is going to do is going to be insane because of these TikToks.
I guess I didn't realize that it was a series because I only saw this one that you just highlighted, and I hadn't seen any of the other videos about it or, like the responses. I also hadn't seen his other videos in the series. So my thought while I was watching it was, is this person who poured him the wine going to get in trouble for giving him such a large pour?
My favorite part of it is that the wine costs a different amount every day he was there because they were just ringing it up wrong.
I mean, it could have been different wines. Like,
he said it was the same wine.
But just because it's Sauvignon Blanc doesn't mean it's the same Sauvignon Blanc.
I don't know. It seemed to be the same.
I don't know. I'm worried about this bartender, so.
I don't think we know this bartender, so I think they're fine. There's a video by Daniel Pants who is explaining why this series is so funny as well.
There's this really cute gay guy, and if you're new here, he's staying at the Courtyard Marriott in Westbury, New York. I'm not sure if he's still there currently, but he's documenting his nights and, like, his wine pours. And he'll start his video. He says, if you're new here, I'm staying at the Courtyard Marriott in Westbury, New York. Then he goes on to describe how the first night he was there, his wine was $14. Then the second night he was there, his wine was $15. Then the third night it was $16, or maybe the first night it was $16, and then it went to $14, and then it went to $15, whatever. There was a difference in the pricing of the Sauvignon Blanc, but nevertheless, this cute gay man is very pleased because the pours at the Courtyard Marriott are very generous.
And then there's a video by Mama Midwest. He's pouring wine from a Kirkland bottle, and it's now going to be called the Marriott Westbury pour. Just big pours.
I stand in solidarity with the people of Westbury, New York.
That's a wild amount of ounces in that wine because it's a big glass as well. That's at least, I would say, a 12-ounce pour. That is what we call a home pour.
Mm-hmm. There's an Italian restaurant in Stamford, Connecticut that Ashley, friend of the pod, told me about because they are also known for their big pours, and they have great food too. So this is a great marketing tool.
Yeah, give us more wine.
More wine. We need
more,
it in
please.
these times. Next on my For You page, so I'm doing an apartment renovation. So I don't know why I didn't think to do this before. I think, Catalina, you're really good at this, but going on TikTok to actually search for things I need help with. And one of them is like kitchen ideas, cabinets, countertops, design ideas.
I've been sending you things.
You've been sending me things, but I haven't just like watched a bunch of videos. And I finally sat down and did that this weekend. And Catalina, you sent me a video by this creator. His name is Alexander Dalgrinjawad. He makes me happy because there's all these creators that are saying this is out of style and this is out of style, but basically anything that's in style now will become out of style, right? So how do you choose? So he always says, well, yes, that's going to happen, but then how do you make a home to feel that it's timeless when timeless isn't a real thing, right? Everything goes in and out of style. So he kind of puts a kibosh on the creators who are like, oh, if you have this, your home is tacky. He's like, no, maybe you can upgrade a few things, or it's not tacky because of this, this, and this. So he makes me feel great. I would say there's just creator in design I would like to highlight, and we'll link him.
Yeah, I actually was just thinking I really need to follow him because he has a very balanced and educational approach to discussing design. And the fact is that there are types of design choices that have longevity that people would consider quote unquote timeless, and then there's trends. And just because you follow a trend doesn't mean, it's gonna be from the time, no matter what, the space you create is a reflection of who you are as a person and the time that you live in.
Absolutely.
But I think what's the most important is that the spaces that we're creating are a reflection of who we are as a person and are authentic to what we really want, and we're not just trying to emulate some aspirational ideal that we've seen online, right?
Yes. The thing I learned this weekend was apparently Taj Mahal countertops are the in thing of 2025 and 2026. I had never heard this. So there are a lot of creators saying, like, if I see another Taj Mahal countertop, I'm going to scream, or it's going to be, the thing of the past very soon. And did you know about this?
I don't even know what that is.
It's basically just a type of countertop.
Looks really
the
material?
Good. It's the color. It's a quartz, I believe, and it looks good with neutral tone cabinets because that's very in right now. So it's like a warmer kitchen, like bright white kitchens are out. Now I've learned all these things. But Taj Mahal countertops.
Yeah, I would just say do what is authentic to you, which is make your entire home purple with sunflowers. So I look forward to going into that space.
Exactly. Catalina, what's been on your For You page?
Well, this video by Planet Aziera or Planeta Aziera, we're not sure. I sent to Dina and she immediately tried to rehash an argument we had in college.
It actually needs to be studied, the relief a little bit of tuna in the fridge gives me. Like, I had a hard day, but I have a little bit of tuna in the fridge. And that, I have a little bit of tuna in the fridge. And that's perfect.
Okay, I wasn't trying to rehash an argument. First of all, the tuna concept, we both love tuna.
My dream.
Yeah, tuna's great. But, Catalina, you're mistaken. I wasn't trying to rehash an argument. I simply said this video reminded me. It pulled this core memory out of my brain.
Of the bad thing that I did in college.
In college, I came home one day. I had a long day. And I said, oh, I'm just so looking forward. I had the perfect amount of ice cream left. I try to find it. It's not there. And who ate it? Catalina ate it. She finished it. It was just the fact that I was just so looking forward to it, and then it was taken away from me.
And in retrospect, that's horrendous behavior. I don't know why I did that. I was a monster. I don't think we shared groceries. So was I drunk? Like, I just don't understand why I had eaten it.
I forgive you, and I'm glad you realized your wrongdoing, but it's going to always be a memory. I'm sorry. I can't forget it.
I know. Isn't that the Laguna Beach thing? Like, I'll forgive you, but I'll try to forget you.
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's move on to something that's been also fun on social media is Artemis 2.
Yeah, so that's been going on my FYP. Obviously, Artemis 2 went to the moon, circled the moon, and came back. I had no idea it was happening until it was already happening. Actually, no.
Until I saw TikToks about it.
My friend texted me and was like, oh, are you following Artemis 2? Are you excited for the launch? And I was like, what? And then they were like, Ivan probably is. I'm sure he's into space. And I was like, Ivan's into bugs. Like, no. And then, I mean, Ivan does like space. But anyway, so then I learned about it. And so I was, finger to the pulse. But I loved following this. I got a video. The one that really pulled me in was by Reb Maisel, known as Reb for the Rebrand, I think. She's the one who popped off by reading court transcripts. She's a lawyer. She's great. And she had this video where she's reacting. She's crying.
Very emotional, yes.
Yeah.
You didn't know this. The astronauts that are now the farthest any human has ever been, ever from Earth, all right? Oh my God. They're circling the moon right now and observing with the naked eye previously unobserved landmarks on the moon. And there was a crater, a spot on the moon that they proposed, they asked, right? They requested, they said, hey, we propose that we name this one Carol. Carol is Reed Wiseman right here, his late wife who passed away from cancer a few years ago.
And there's a feature in a really neat place on the moon, and it is on the near side, far side boundary. We will be able to see this from Earth. Her name was Carol, the spouse of Reed, the mother of Katie and Ellie, and it's a bright spot on the moon. And we would like to call it Carol, and you spell that C-A-R-R-O-L-L.
And then they do a group hug. Being human is really all we have, huh? We are the only planet in our solar system with one moon. It's our moon, no one else's moon. So we named a bright spot on that moon Carol. 4 people took this photo of the rest of us. You are in this photo. Every person who has ever existed is in this photo. Every person you have ever loved is in this photo. Every person you will ever love is in this photo. Everyone you've ever known or met or talked to or walked past in your entire life is in this photo. Victor Glover, one of the 4 astronauts on board, quote, in all of this emptiness, you have this oasis. No one talk to me right now.
Such a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I know. It's all, if I think too much about every element of going to the moon, because sometimes it's like, what? And then, it's like, what's the big deal? Which is, it's a huge deal. I also saw a really great video of a guy responding to some woman who's like, why do we need to do this? And he was like, you are fundamentally uncurious. Just because your knowledge stopped somewhere doesn't mean all knowledge has to end there.
Ooh,
like, you're done learning doesn't mean that the world is done learning. I think that it is fascinating, and the fact that it's the first time that people went to the far side of the moon it was also the first woman who went to the moon, the first Black man who went to the moon, and so the first Canadian who went to the moon, although they didn't go on the moon, but they still went around the moon, which is a huge first. It's the furthest a human has ever been from Earth. I really just loved watching all the nerds, like watching them in the control center, just getting so jazzed about things that you're like, what? And you have to think it's kind of like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, oh my God, they literally sent someone through the atmosphere into outer space to the moon and back, and they're fine? That's wild. How much anxiety must you go through?
Well, I don't think you could be an astronaut, Kevin. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm sure they have some anxiety, but That's why they're not sending you.
I would be trying to do way too many weird things in space just to see what happened. I'd be like, I'm gonna poop, see what happens.
I saw actually
see what happens.
One of the videos that came across my For You page is about how astronauts have to train to poop in space because they have only like this little hole.
Also, when they were crying and then their tears are flying, and oh my god, it's so amazing. Anyway, okay, and then this is great. So this is the astronaut Victor Glover, who's the first black man who went to the moon. His daughters have been showing up on TikTok. So the first one I saw was Maya Lauren, who's one of his daughters, doing a dance.
And she's wearing a t-shirt with his face on it, and it says, "When your dad successfully pilots Artemis 2 halfway to the moon." She's just so proud of her dad.
She's super proud of her dad, and everyone was like, oh my god, and the dad is hot, and the daughter's cool. And then there's 4 girls, and they made an account called Glover Girls.
Aw.
So...
Go follow them.
Yeah, go follow them. Sick follow. And then I was like, how do you become I don't know. I just started being like, how do you become an astronaut?
Well, I went to space camp. So the first step is go to space camp. But that actually made me disinterested in
Is
space.
that the first step?
I don't know. But you know what I did like? I liked going fast. I liked all the rides, the simulations. Mm-hmm. That was cool. But then... the science part of it.
I know, Dina, you are very much Katy Perry going to space.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't really want to run experiments, but like, I'll go up.
That was literally me.
Yeah, maybe not.
Okay.
We should just put you on a spaceship with them as they're running experiments.
I could be,
You are the experiment.
What do you call it? The personality hire.
Yeah.
I could entertain them in space.
No, that's why both of us would go. And we'd be like, well, no, I wouldn't. I would have to take like 65 Xanax to even get on the airplane, on the space shuttle. Absolutely not.
Okay, let's go to New York City TikTok. This is a video by Johnny Murtaugh.
All right, I finally found something. Whenever I walk past a construction site in Lower Manhattan, I always look to see if there's any cool historical objects in there, because people forget that underneath these streets, there are hundreds of years of history. So after doing a quick scan of the ground, I noticed something very specific. These are oyster shells from the 1600s, when New York City was New Amsterdam, and they've been buried underneath this street for over 300 years, until today. Now, to the untrained eye, this might just look like random oyster shells in the ground, but it is not, specifically because we were on Pearl Street, and that means something. The street actually got its name during colonial times. It's called Pearl Street because the street was paved with oyster shells, and it just looked like a big-ass pearl. So, great. I'm gonna look into the floor of these construction sites, but it also made me nervous. He was walking really close up to it, and I try to walk away from them because you could fall into a hole easily.
Yeah. I enjoyed the way that he was showing in real time the layered history of cities.
Yeah, it was cool.
I was wondering, are you allowed, because I guess it's not an archaeological dig, but are you allowed to just go and grab things from a construction site and be here's a shell?
Right, he grabbed a shell. I'm sure if it was something else, but I think a shell is so innocent.
That happened, actually. That happens all the time with construction sites, especially in New York, especially in these cities where they start excavating and then they discover graveyards. Ooh. So that happened Washington Square Park, below Washington Square Park, huge graveyard. That happened in Columbus recently, where they were excavating actually that place, North Market. They were doing something in the parking lot and they discovered like an indigenous burial ground, and so they had to turn it into an archaeological dig and basically remove the artifacts respectfully and, bring in experts and then resume work. So obviously the shells are one thing, but that's also where you're like, there's so much history below the surface.
It is. I learned that in Egypt. That was the coolest thing to me about Egypt, is that below the sand in these vast deserts, there could just be basically cities that are uncovered that we have no idea exist. And it's so hard to get to all of them. So they're still discovering new civilizations there.
Yeah. I hope that they discover the whole lady at some point, and people are just like, what?
In thousands of years. People are like, why did this lady have a
And then they're going to discover your Taj Mahal countertops and be like, this is not timeless.
I'm not going to get Taj Mahal countertops.
Okay.
Moving on to our last section, food and drink.
All right, this is all me. I am deep in the weeds of fiber and chia seed pudding TikTok right now. I'm also in my myofascial release TikTok, but I decided I wouldn't subject everyone to that because, as we know, I use TikTok as a search engine. But I've been on my fiber journey for years now, and the world apparently is catching up. And it's great for me because I'm getting all these recipe ideas. And so one series was by Plant-Based Baby, and she was talking about all the chia seed puddings that she has been making recently.
I've made a lot of overnight oats, but these blueberry ones have easily become my favorite, and what I've eaten for breakfast nearly every morning for the past 2 months. Not because they have 40 grams of protein and 20 grams of fiber, not because they make my mornings so simple, but because they taste that good. Finding a protein powder you actually enjoy will make any recipe better. I not only love the flavor of this protein powder, but the texture is so good. A good vanilla protein powder would also work. I like the shelf-stable soy milk from Trader Joe's. The only ingredients are organic soybeans and water, and 1 8-ounce serving has 9 grams of protein. Oats add equal parts protein and fiber and keep you feeling full for so long. And you guys know I love my fiber-packed chia seeds.
Do you like chia pudding, Dina?
I think I've had bad chia pudding in the past where it's turned me off to it. I'm open to trying it again, but the answer is no because I've had bad ones.
Yeah. I think chia pudding alone is a little gloopy in a way that could be off-putting for people. But when you do the mix-ins and everything, it's one of these things that it starts healthy until it's not, right?
Right. Add some sugar. It tastes delicious.
Chia seeds are so good for you.
I need to start getting on the chia seed bandwagon.
But if you don't like them, whatever, there's other options.
I don't love them in a smoothie. I've tried them in a smoothie.
Oh, I do it in a smoothie, but I stir it in. I don't blend it in.
That's a good idea.
The one thing I tried that I do not recommend is people will just drink them. So I tried just drinking water and chia seeds, and it was so it was so foul.
Words the wise.
It is like because I like boba and tapioca pearls.
I love boba.
So you would probably like chia, but it's a little bit more like slimy.
But it depends how it's made.
I've been doing chia for dessert. Some people do these breakfast desserts or breakfast chia puddings, and I'm like, that is so much chocolate. Maybe not in the morning for me. Actually, and speaking of blood sugar, that is the other one that I got this week, which is by Sierra Reese, and it's about resistant starch.
Did you know that meal prepping your rice ahead of time for the week is actually a really great way to help keep your blood sugar stable? A couple years ago, when I was working to reverse my pre-diabetes, utilizing resistant starch was actually one of the ways I was able to get my A1C back into normal range. This is Nutrition in the Kitchen, where we're talking about nutrition from my kitchen. So resistant starch is any type of starch that resists digestion and doesn't raise your blood sugar as much as other starches might. Resistant starch can happen naturally, but you can also develop resistant starch in carbohydrates that you're eating by cooking them and cooling them down and then reheating them. Typically, when there's a specific carbohydrate that I want to have throughout the week, rice and beans, or a baked potato, I batch prep it all on one day and then I put it in the refrigerator and then I reheat it throughout the week.
The reason I really like this video is because I frequently will make rice and then eat it, over the course of 3 days. And so I didn't realize that actually is a good strategy. I had also learned the cautionary tale from, remember that guy who left pasta in his backpack and died?
No.
You don't
remember that? No. Block that out of my memory.
There was some student that it made the news a few years ago where this guy had eaten old pasta that he had left in his backpack, and he died because of the bacteria that developed in it.
Oh, that's
horrible. Then everyone, if you go online, there's so much fear-mongering about leaving rice out or eating old rice and whatever.
Yeah.
If you keep it at temperature and you don't let bacteria accumulate, it's fine for a few days.
Sure.
But I didn't realize that not only is it fine for a few days, but also it's actually better for your blood sugar.
Good to know. Learning
Thanks,
on TikTok.
Sierra. Yeah.
Great. Well, this has been a wonderful episode. Thank you, Catalina. Also, next week I'll be back to see if I got LA Olympic tickets, because that has still been on my For You page, a lot of LA Olympic talk. So we'll find out.
I think I've convinced some people to buy tickets for
Columbus,
Ohio.
We'll see the dates. We'll see if it happens. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Being outside is good for us. It's that simple. And trails make it easy for us to walk, bike, and be active outside in our own backyards. On the trail, we see people moving, connecting with their communities, making the places where they live great. For 40 years, Rails to Trails Conservancy has led the way, creating trails across the country, making it safer and easier for everyone to get outside. They want you to get involved. Find your trail and start your journey today at railstotrails.org/iHeart and follow at Rails to Trails on social.